6 years of cinder track driving before I ventured out into road racing. After driving so many years on cinder tracks, hanging the tail out was really the way that, or the only way to get around a cinder circuit. And of course, having the tail hanging out was really my style of driving. That's the way I thought it should be done. But of course, I soon learnt in Europe that the type of road racing and more sophisticated cars that we were driving, that this wasn't the way to do it.
Whiteford makes a desperate effort in the final laps, but Brabham is almost a minute ahead. He takes windsock and goes on down the straight to meet the checkered flag.
Monaco Grand Prix. 100 laps of nearly 2 miles. Leading early on was French champion Jean Brabham in a Ferrari. Sterling Moss Cooper on his heels. Last lap and ahead of Tony Brooks' Ferrari was Jack Brabham. He hurled his Cooper over the line.
I won the Monaco Grand Prix, and being my first Grand Prix win, naturally this stuck in my mind for a long time and was really a sense of achievement that every young driver really had an ambition for.
Passed. From the getaway, Brabham shot ahead, determined to keep the number 12 out in front, and so strengthen his claim to be world champion this season. Sterling Moss drove his BRM superbly, battled into second place but couldn't overtake Brabham. Little to fear now, Brabham had the race in his pocket, though Sterling Moss was still giving chase. Jack Brabham won, covering the 225 miles at an average of just under 90 miles an hour. Aintree's genial owner, Mrs. Topham, garlanded the winner. Congratulations to Brabham on a great display.
By December, Jack Brabham is the leader in the World Drivers' Championship, and the United States Grand Prix at Sebring is the final race of the series. Only one other driver, Sterling Moss, has a chance of beating Brabham for the championship if he can win this race. In the early stages, it's Moss first, Brabham second. In the middle stages, Sterling Moss pulls out with mechanical trouble, and Jack Brabham has only to complete the course to win the World Championship. Bruce McLaren, number 9, has moved into second place, and the race is dominated by the Cooper Works team.
Stop.
Brabham was in trouble on the final straight.
And I eventually stopped about 100 yards from the finishing line, and I started pushing. If anybody assisted me, I'd be disqualified.
And Bruce McLaren at 22 is the youngest driver ever to win an international Grand Prix. In an atmosphere of great excitement, Jack Brabham pushes his car across the line in 4th place.
At that time, of course, when I pushed the car over the line, I didn't realise what position I was as far as the World Championship was concerned. It was a big thrill to me to find out, after I was exhausted on the ground, and found out that I'd actually won the championship. It was a fantastic thing.
Australia's leading drivers and world champion Jack Brabham are off in the Moomba Trophy at Phillip Island. Brabham's in car number 4, and soon after the start he passes Devlin to go to the lead. Last lap now, and Brabham's still leading. He averages 82 miles an hour in another record-breaking win. Thrill. There's Brabham in the straight, hitting 157 miles per hour. He averages nearly 100 miles per hour for the entire grueling race. It's Brabham first, more than half a minute ahead of Bill Patterson, with Bob Stillwell of Victoria third. A superb exhibition of driving by the world champion. But he's at the wheel, the others just aren't in the race.
Thrills at the French Grand Prix start the moment the flag drops. Hill's BRM in the front row fails to start. Plantignon's Cooper rams it, Halford's Cooper goes into a spin, and Bianchi's Cooper pulls away with a crushed radiator cowl. Somehow the mess sorts itself out. In the end, it's Jack Brabham who gets the upper hand, streaking ahead for his 3rd consecutive Grand Prix victory at a record speed for the course of 131.7 miles per hour. The Italians are nowhere. First 8 places go to British machines. And for Jack, one more step towards retaining the world crown.
In 1960, Jack won the championship again. So he was now a double world champion.
And that, of course, really proved to everybody that we had the right idea with the engine in the back.
Brabham is world champion for the second year running, so the motor racing fraternity awarded him their gold star. Mike
They travel in a bunch over the first lap. At College Corner, McLaren in number 47 is taking the lead, with Moss chasing him and Brabham right behind. Brabham still has the lead, nursing his sick engine, but keeping 100 yards ahead of McLaren. It's all over as they approach the finish line. Brabham and McLaren have driven a great race. Jack Brabham flashes past the flag. He set a new record, 1 hour, 40 minutes. McLaren finishes only 1 second behind.
The roaring start of the French Grand Prix, destined to be the fastest Grand Prix of all time on a road circuit. And amongst the racing cars, veteran driving ace Jack Brabham in a machine of his own design and make.
From a whole career achievement, the fact of winning the first Grand Prix in a Brabham car at Reims at that time was probably the most satisfying race I think I've ever had, a sense of achievement.
Now it was Brabham's turn to take the lead and smash the track record at 138.65 miles an hour. Flashing across the line to take the checkered flag, Brabham also shot to the top of the championship driving table.
1966 was Jack Brabham's year. Here he wins the Dutch Grand Prix and more points towards his World Championship.
With only 3 Grand Prix to go, it now seems certain that an Australian driver in an Australian car will carry off the World Championship this year.
It was a thrill to not only build your own car, but to race it and win races with it was terrific.
The only man ever to win the World Driving Championship in a car of his own design. And now, Brabham the manufacturer is as famous as Brabham the driver.
And winning the World Championship in '66 was really the pinnacle of the whole thing, because to win the championship with an Australian-made engine was a fantastic feather in our cap, I think.